Chairman broke the rules and violated the rules of this committee to try to silence
I don't want to do that, but I want you to.
And I understand why you interrupt me in the middle of this email, because it is so extreme that I recognize, Mr. Chairman, you don't want the American people to hear what's in this email.
I'm not afraid of what you're going to say. I'm just wondering if it's going to come to an end soon.
It's going to come to an end soon. It would have been sooner without the interruption, but it will come to an end.
They tried to silence him. The gavel came down, interruptions followed, and every effort seemed aimed at stopping Ted Cruz from making his case. But Cruz refused to back down. Today, we're breaking down the moment Cruz entered the hearing and delivered a confrontation that quickly raised the temperature in the room, and why the evidence he brought with him became such a major focus of the exchange. Let's get straight into the main video.
She helped organize a conference. A conference on the left, and I have in front of me an article from FoxNews.com dated April 9th, 2021, the title of which is New Findings Show Biden DOJ Nominee Organized Conference Championing Cop Killers. And Mr. Chairman, I'd ask unanimous consent to enter this article on the record as well.
Without objection.
This article goes through transcripts from the hearing, from the conference, rather, that she organized. The conference was entitled, quote, Racing Justice, and it featured speakers defending, celebrating, and lionizing one after the other cop killers, people who had murdered police officers, describing them as political prisoners. Convicted cop killer Mumia Abu Jabal, convicted cop killer Mutula Shakur, convicted cop killer Sundiata Akoli, and Tom Manning. Not only that, they also referred to as a political prisoner Susan Rosenberg, who was convicted of transporting multiple illegal firearms and over 740 pounds of explosives. Ms. Rosenberg was also a member of the American Communist Terrorist Group, the May 19th communist organization that bombed the United States Capitol on November 7th, 1983. We've heard lots of Democratic members of this body speaking in high dudgeon about the terrorist attack that all of us experienced on January 6th of this year. And yet, Ms. Rosenberg actually carried out a communist attack that bombed the United States Capitol. And what did Ms. Clark do? Organize a conference celebrating someone who bombed the United States Capitol as a political prisoner. That's extreme. That's radical. By the way, I will point out, Mr. Blumenthal spoke just a moment ago about anti-Semitism. At that same conference, one of these radical speakers downplayed and diminished the Holocaust in her remarks, saying, quote, it was only 6 million Jews killed in the camps and prisons of Germany and Poland. That's reprehensible. That's the kind of vicious anti-Semitism, sadly, we see on the extreme left and the extreme right. But Ms. Clark organized that conference. That was one of the speakers at her conference. And if you say, well, maybe those are not her views. I have in front of me an email she sent on June 25th, 1999. It says, I'm going to read in relevant part, whoever thinks chattel slavery is gone is not with us in the real world. Some aspects of it have changed, like cars, modernized for the times. The old chains are now less visible, fitted by the media and schools and laws. The plantations are called plants or factories, or whatever they call the myriad squalid money-making machines in which the rulers exploit black people and the whole working class. The Klan is now the police, with blue uniforms replacing the sheets and hoods. The corrupt, racist judges are petty Klan administrators. The Kliegels of the bourgeois state, Klavan.
Senator, before you arrived this morning, we asked members to try to confine their remarks to 10 minutes. And virtually all of...
I'm nearing the end of my remarks, and I recognize the last time we had a hearing, the chairman broke the rules and violated the rules of this committee to try to silence me. And I understand why you interrupt me in the middle of this email, because it is so extreme that I recognize, Mr. Chairman, you don't want the American people to hear what's in this email.
I have, without objection, put into record everything you've asked. I'm not afraid of what you're going to say. I'm just wondering if it's going to come to an end soon.
It's going to come to an end soon. It would have been sooner without the interruption, but it will come to an end soon. And now that we're at it, I would ask unanimous consent to enter this email into the record.
Without objection.
So what I was reading when the chairman interrupted me, the corrupt, racist judges are petty Klan administrators. The Kliegels of the bourgeois state's Klavan, their courts. The midnight torch-burning torture sessions before the neck-stretching and black corpse burning. To each of my Democratic colleagues on this committee, Ms. Clark, in writing, said, I want to read the sentence that on this copy is highlighted. The Klan is now the police, with blue uniforms replacing the sheets and hoods. You do not get to pretend you are defenders of law enforcement when you vote to confirm someone who describes police officers as the Klan and who has advocated repeatedly in writing for abolishing the police. This is radical, this is extreme, and the Democratic senators on this committee know that, and yet you are giving in to the crazy, angry left in your party. I ask you to pull back. I ask you to think of what your constituents want. How many of your constituents agree with this statement? And to each of you, I suggest be prepared when you return home. The people of Illinois do not agree with the statement, the Klan is now the police, with blue uniforms replacing the sheets and hoods. And this committee should not confirm someone who said such a thing to be a senior official at the Department of Justice.
Cruz wasted no time making his case. He raised serious questions about a Biden-era DOJ nominee's involvement with a conference that, according to his argument, honored individuals convicted of killing police officers and presented them as political prisoners. But Cruz argued that the controversy went even further. He also highlighted the appearance of a woman connected to the 1983 U.S. Capitol bombing at the event, using that connection to challenge what he described as a glaring double standard in how political violence is treated. Then Cruz brought out something even more direct, an email attributed to the nominee, dated June 25, 1999. He began reading her own words into the hearing, including harsh comparisons between police officers and the Ku Klux Klan, as well as strong criticism of judges and the court system. That was when the atmosphere changed. The gavel came down, interruptions followed, and Cruz argued that the effort to stop him was preventing the public from hearing the nominee's own words. Rather than backing down, he continued pressing the issue. Cruz then had the email entered into the congressional record without objection and continued reading from it. His message to the committee was clear. Lawmakers should be prepared to explain their votes to the people they represent, particularly when the nominee's past statements involve such serious criticism of law enforcement. Cruz argued that supporting law enforcement while confirming someone who had made statements comparing police to the Klan would be fundamentally inconsistent. He challenged the Democrats on the committee to defend that position publicly and explain it to their constituents. Despite the interruptions and procedural limits, Cruz kept the focus on the evidence he had presented. His broader argument was that congressional procedure should not prevent senators from examining a nominee's record and allowing the public to hear controversial statements for themselves. The confrontation became a test of whether Cruz would back down under pressure. He didn't. He continued making his case, put the material into the official record, and forced the committee to confront the controversy directly. What do you think about Cruz's performance in the hearing? Did he make a legitimate point about the nominee's record, or did the confrontation go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more political hearing coverage.